Adventures in Paradise. Starring Gardner McKay as Adam Troy, with James Holden as Clay Baker, George Tobias as Penrose. Man-Eaters. Guest stars, Kent Smith, Bethel Leslie, John Fiedler.
Monsieur Leconge, this is Conrad Penrose.
Enchanté.
Delighted.
As they say south of the border, my house is yours at a reasonable rate.
If you don't mind outside plumbing.
Have you 4 rooms vacant, Mr. Penrose?
I have 4 rooms. As a matter of fact, they're all vacant. And season's over, you know.
We are in luck again. We should like to engage them for perhaps 10 days.
10 days? Why, of course, as long as you like. Vacationing, Mr.
Well, you might say our whole life was one long vacation.
I wouldn't say that, Monsieur Leconge.
You have heard of us, then?
Who hasn't heard of both of you?
May I present my cameraman and co-pilot, Monsieur Villard, Captain Troy, Mr. Penrose, and Mr. Groper.
How do you do?
Mr. Groper?
What about those?
Well, perhaps Mr. Penrose will have them fetched upstairs.
Oh, wait, not my box. We'll handle that.
Peter always fears someone will drop his precious brainchild.
Someone once did, me.
This way, folks.
We're going to have to be very nice to you, Captain Troy.
My wife means we are wishing to charter your ship, Captain Troy, if she's available.
Oh, she's available, all right.
See, you wanted 4 rooms. That's VR, Groper, and 1 for you and Madame, and...
Madame Lagrange and I wish separate rooms.
Oh, sure, sure. I'll show you upstairs.
I'll look over my gear in my room tonight. If everything checks out, I'll install it in Troy's ship tomorrow.
No one can work so
great end, my only friend. I love you, I love you. The boys are no good, lazy bone. I love you alone, buffalo, 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 buffalo.
I still don't get it.
Then what?
The LaGranges. The missus. Well, she sure got what it takes.
She got a lot more than that, pal.
Huh?
About $12 million. Her great-granddaddy was one of America's first steam locomotive tycoons.
Adam, what's a tycoon?
Oh, a magnate or a plutocrat.
12 million. That's a lot of tycooning. What does a husband do?
Don't you ever read, Penrose?
Of course I can read.
I didn't say can't you, I said don't you. You've never heard of Michel Lagrange?
I can't say I have.
He's the greatest underwater documentary filmmaker who ever lived.
And what's film documentary maker?
He makes his living shooting fish.
With a gun? We use spears.
No, Sonny, with a camera. This guy's a genius. He's a poet, he's a composer.
He still shoots fish.
Every film he makes is a masterpiece of color and rhythm. He's discovered a new world down there and a new way of presenting it. He's great.
He's welcome to it. I can't stand my head underwater.
You just don't like water, period.
Yeah, well, what does she do?
Well, aside from providing the cash, she's his underwater leading lady.
If you ask me, he's a queer kind of a fish himself.
Why?
If you had a wife like that, would you ask for separate rooms?
Well, he may have his reasons.
He does. My husband likes to sit up all night working, and I like to sleep. Sometimes. Satisfied. Gentleman. I'd like a new mosquito netting, please. The one over my bed's like a Swiss cheese.
Yes, ma'am. Big mouth.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If she was my wife, she would...
She isn't.
Oh, hello. Settled in?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
You know what I mean.
I think you better go away, Andre.
I don't leave this room until I get an answer.
Ooh, an ultimatum, eh?
Listen, in 10 days, our work is finished here. Then are you coming away with me?
Oh, you make it sound so attractive with that scowl on your face.
Well, I'm not in the mood for joking, Carol.
Obviously. You're behaving like a child. I'll get out before Michel finds you here.
And what if he did, huh? Would he care? I tell you, if you leave him, in 10 days, he'll not notice you're gone. He's not a man, he's a machine.
Listen, little man. 2 words of advice. Don't underestimate Michel and don't overestimate yourself.
And what does that mean, huh?
It means you could be expendable, Andre. I got along without you for 25 years, remember?
This is not what you said a few weeks ago.
But it's what I'm saying now. Don't live in the past, Andre. It never works.
It's the future that I'm thinking of. I can't go on like this. I won't.
No one is forcing you to.
Oh, so what must I do, huh? Forget everything that's happened? Go on working like before? Just sit by and watch until the next one comes along, eh?
Get out, Andre.
Oh, yes, get out, Andre. I have had my fun. Now I'm bored, huh? Don't live in the past, Andre. Get on with your work, huh? No, I'm not that kind of man.
Will you please get out of here and leave me alone?
All right. If you won't tell him, maybe I will.
You think he'd believe it?
I would see he did.
But, Andre, if he did believe it, he'd kill you.
Ah, there you are, Andre. Has all our equipment been checked out?
Well, my cameras are all right. Groper's looking at his stuff now.
Good.
Well, bonsoir.
Andre? Wasn't there something you wanted to say to me, Shell?
Bonsoir.
Is something the matter with you?
You should know about Gallic temperament, Michelle.
Now, about tomorrow's work.
Well, hello, Andre. Mislaid your room again? You want to be careful, you know. Join me in a drink?
I've got a drink in my room.
Suit yourself.
Well, so much for the work. I have had a chat with that Troy fellow. He's a good type.
Unusually good.
And handsome, too. I like him. I think it should be very pleasant here. Is something worrying you, Carol?
How important is Andre, Michelle?
Important? To whom?
To you, of course, for the work.
He's an excellent swimmer. He's fearless. He has learned the camera work fast. Why?
If I suggested that it might be a good idea to let him go after this trip, what would you say?
I would have to know why. And so I imagine would he.
I think it might be easier.
Is he being a nuisance?
Oh, I wouldn't put it as strongly as that.
You are asking me to take very strong action.
I'm not asking, I just wondered. You tell me he's irreplaceable, and of course I'll forget it.
Well, no one is irreplaceable.
Not even me.
Good night, my dear.
Just picked them up. I can hear their breath bubbles.
The Grange and Villard?
Plus, there are two mermaids down there.
Exactly what is this thing? I mean, what does it do?
Well, that's very easy to answer if you got a few weeks to spare. Well, actually, it's sort of a shotgun wedding between sonar and a common or garden-type tape recorder. It's unique because of its small size, which is possible through miniaturization. It hears, reports, and records.
What does it report?
Fish talk?
Oh, yes, I've heard about undersea recordings, but I've never seen the equipment down here. Fish talk. You really believe they communicate?
Why not? I'll play you some tapes later.
Can you understand what they say?
Not yet, but I will one day. Oh, don't bother to hide that smile. Bigger brains than you think I'm nuts.
Oh, I didn't say
You
it.
don't have to say. I'm used to it. But not so long ago, a captive porpoise in California shocked his trainer by squeaking out some quite intelligible English words.
Minor birds do it, and parrots.
Right. So if animals and birds pick up words from our language, is it so impossible they might have languages of their own?
But fish underwater.
Well, if they can breathe underwater, why can't they talk? I mean, maybe they think the same about us. How can those two-legged monsters talk in that suffocating air?
What do you suppose fish find to talk about?
Well, the same thing as we do. Wars, the weather, food, sex maybe. The only thing they don't have to worry about is money. Lucky fish, huh?
You really believe in this, don't you?
Sure I do. And so will you if you stick around long enough.
And of course Lagrange believes in it.
Lagrange? Why, he can practically talk to them himself.
He's an amazing man, isn't he?
Lagrange is a dedicated pioneer. Did you know that we know more about outer space than we do about our own oceans?
As a matter of fact, I did.
If you ask me, a man like Lagrange is doing more for the human race than any astronaut whirling around the Earth in a lump of steel.
How did you ever come to be associated with him?
Me? Well, I guess I couldn't help it. I was born with a fish's name for a start. Groper's a fish, you know.
I've met one or two.
Ugly brutes, too. Then I was called Fish Face in school. So right from the start, fish and me seemed to have something in common. But then I met Lagrange, and that settled it.
You really admire him, don't you?
I'd drown for him. Well, let's see where they are, shall we? There's a big ray down there.
Why do you not say ray?
Indicated size, speed, steady undulating course. Besides, he told me so himself.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Having a day off?
Yes, for once. They're just getting stock material today. Tomorrow you'll have to find me an octopus. A big one.
An octopus? What for?
Because in this film I have to encounter a killer octopus. You know the scene. The deadly tentacles reach out and grab me. Michel to the rescue. Will he hack them off in time? And by some happy coincidence, Andre is there with his camera to record it all.
Now, you're not really going to take on a killer octopus.
If we can find one to take me on. They're very timid creatures, really.
Rather you than me.
Much rather. It has to be a girl. You're not pretty enough. Sit down a minute. You're always striding around looking like Lord Nelson.
Does your husband worry about you doing all this stuff?
Michel? I don't think so. We're much better armed than the fish, you know. He hates it, but for different reasons.
Hmm?
He's a scientist, not a businessman. From his point of view, this is all a fraud and a waste of time. And from his point of view, of course, he's right.
Well, why do it then?
Because it's my money, and like most rich people, I'm too mean to throw it away. The public demands sex, action, and swirling bubbles, so I see that we give it to them.
I don't see you as a businesswoman.
Oh, I've got something of my forebears in me.
You just do it for kicks.
I do what I like. Always. What about you? Why does a man like you hide himself away down here?
I'm not hiding down here. I like it.
Married?
No.
Surprised nobody's hooked you. No ties, huh?
Well, just a boat.
You ever thought of leaving this little paradise here and taking on a new line of endeavor?
Like what? Like taking on a killer octopus? No, thanks.
We'll talk about it sometime.
They're back.
A pleasant morning.
Anything interesting?
Nothing. We did see a good big ray down there just now, about 300 pounds.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you win.
We pause now for station identification. Back to Adventures in Paradise, brought to you by...
School of small fish, moving fast. Scared of something.
Cannibals.
Could be. Oh, no, hold it. You hear that?
Deeper booming.
Yes. No wonder they were scared. That's a shark. And a big one. Hear him? There he goes. Right under us. And away. Well, here ended the first lesson. Impressed?
Why did it have to be a shark?
There's sharks in all these lagoons.
Oh, not likely in this lagoon. Big shark will never get past the reef.
Well, this one might have come in with you. With the tiki. Someone might have thrown some swill overboard.
Yeah, but why a shark? Why not some other big fish like a...
A grouper? No. All big fish have their own characteristic noises. Remember the ray? Oh, it's getting late. You want to hear the tape before I turn in?
Okay.
Now, you must realize, of course, that it is only with practice that you get to learn to recognize certain sounds. I mean, to you, this might sound like that old radio of Penroses, full of screeches, squawks, and interference. Okay? Here we go. Now, that background thrumming is our cameras. The deeper sound is us swimming. Now, there's your fish talk. And that high-pitched twittering. What the heck are those monsters doing down here? But they're not scared. They're interested. They come near, see? Now we're going to turn on some lights, and that will scare them. Listen. Off they go. And if that's not talking, I'd like to know what it is.
That's not what you said a few weeks ago, huh?
That's what I'm saying now. Don't live in the past, Andre. It never works.
It's the future that I'm thinking of. I can't go on like this. I won't.
Nobody's forcing you to.
So what must I do, huh? Forget about everything that's happened? Go on working like before? Just sit by and watch until the next one comes along, huh?
Get out, Andre.
But you only listened in on fish.
That's right. Especially when a sucker's hooked.
You let me hear that deliberately.
Yes. I recorded it last night when I was checking out my equipment in the room next to Carol's.
Why did you play it back to me now?
You're no fool, Troy. You know why.
I may be tense, but I don't. It's none of my business.
It will be.
What are you driving at?
You really don't know.
I said so, didn't I?
Well, maybe you don't at that. Like with fish, one becomes an expert at the early recognition of signs and portents. It was a warning, Troy.
Of what?
Keep off the hook. She's preparing the bait already.
I think you're off your rocker.
I wish I was. Madame Lagrange collects odd fish. She wants you in her aquarium, Troy.
If it makes you any happier, I don't collect so easily.
Well, she's very hard to refuse. That woman is ruthless, cunning, and attractive. Unless you're forewarned, it can be a deadly mixture.
Listen, Groper, I think you're out of line. What business is this of yours anyway?
Michelle, as you may have gathered, I look on him rather as a god. But the trouble with some gods is they're so far removed from earthly things, they don't notice everything that goes on around them.
You mean he has no idea?
None at all. About this or any of the others. It would break him. And as long as I'm here to stop it, I won't let that happen.
I'm sorry. He seems so devoted to her and so happy.
Have you ever noticed how often the blind are happy?
Well, don't worry about me. I like to do my own fishing.
Which will intrigue her even more. So please be careful. Midnight. I better get back to the hotel.
I'll row you to the pier.
Don't bother. I can roll myself back in the dinghy.
Good night.
Well, you're supposed to reach out your hand and help a lady over the side.
Sure. Now dive in and swim back.
Oh, wait a minute. Now you're supposed to offer the lady a drink.
Carol, we're closed. It's after hours. I'm not kidding, Carol. I want you to go ashore.
You got a towel? I'm dripping.
I'll mop up after you leave.
Oh, you know something? I lied this morning. You really are rather pretty. I still have to go?
Yes.
Well, that's nice and brisk. May I ask why?
For a start, because I like and admire your husband.
So do I. He's a fine man.
So why don't you go back to him? Stop acting like a...
Like a what? Wealthy playgirl who grabs what she can and buys what she can't grab.
You said it, not me.
What makes a playgirl out of them? Are they born that way, or is it something that happens to them?
You tell me.
Gladly. You lead too sheltered a life down here. All you've heard about is the poor girl who marries the rich man for his money. What about the poor man who marries the rich girl for hers?
I don't believe a man like Lagrange would ever marry a woman like you for her money.
Oh, Lord Nelson. A woman like me, I was starry-eyed when I fell in love with Michel. I thought he was the greatest man that ever lived. But he isn't. He's as cold-blooded as the fish he photographs. He couldn't love a woman the way she needs to be loved. He doesn't know how. He's kind and gentle and considerate. He's not on this earth at all. His heart is underwater.
Why don't you leave him?
Because I'm fond of him. And he needs me. And he wouldn't understand, poor dear. I don't want to hurt him. I just had to change my whole outlook on life and learn that you have to compromise to live.
So you became a collector?
Collector? Groper's been playing nursemaid again. No. At least he's never said anything to Michel. Now I'll go ashore.
No, wait a minute. You need a drink. Sit down. I want to talk to you.
Oh, no. I am leaving.
All right, I'll row you.
Don't bother. I can go back the way I came.
No, you better not go in the water. Groper says there's a shark in the lagoon.
Don't believe everything Groper tells you. He's been known to be wrong, Lord Nelson. Besides, sharks rarely attack their own kind.
Wait,
No. Too late. You lost me forever.
Have either of you seen Carol this morning?
No.
Sunday, have you seen Madame Lagrange?
No, monsieur, not since last night.
She's not in her room?
No.
Well, maybe she went for a walk. It's nice and cool at this hour.
She has not slept in her bed.
Well, don't worry, Mr. LaGrange. There's no place to go from here. She'll be around somewhere.
But where? And why has she not slept in her bed?
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Did you see her go up to her room?
Yes, we went up together just after midnight.
She wasn't about when I came back.
Good morning, Monsieur Lagrange. We hunting an octopus today?
For the moment, we are hunting for my wife. You have not seen her, I suppose.
This morning? No.
How about last night?
Well, at dinner with all of you, yes.
And after that?
I don't understand.
Well, the question is quite clear, surely. Did you see her after dinner?
How could he? Captain Troy was aboard the Tiki.
So was Carol. Wasn't she, Captain Troy?
Why don't you ask her?
We would if we could find her.
Well, who saw her last and when?
I say Captain Troy did.
Andre, what is this?
Ask him. Carol left her room last night and swam across to the Tiki. I saw her go.
Is this true?
Yes.
Is she still there?
Oh, of course not. She just stayed a few minutes and went back.
What did she want with you?
She said she couldn't sleep.
Why do you make a mystery of it? Why did you not say so?
I didn't think it was important.
Now then, so she came just for a few minutes, They went back again?
That's what I said.
That's what you admitted when forced.
That's the truth.
How did she get back?
Same way she came. She swam.
You let her swim back?
I offered to row her, but she just dove in.
You let her after what we heard last night?
I couldn't stop her.
What is this?
Well, there's a shark in the lagoon. I tracked it distinctly. And I told him so. I mean, why won't people listen to me? Why?
Oh, be quiet, Peter. There's nothing to be gained by blaming anyone. Get your gear. We'll search the lagoon underwater.
Well, there he is.
Carol, she has not appeared?
No.
She might have got into town.
No. Did you see anything?
Nothing. Andre's working the other side.
Where do they think they're going?
Tanta Fayama say, Shark and Lagoon. She feel it in toe bones.
And toe bones, schmo bones, I still say this canoe's nothing to catch shark in.
Dug out only good way. Look, baby octopus on hook, huh? The line, they tied to a bolt. Huh? Sail catch wind from up front. Drag on shark. Shark get tied fast.
Yeah, great. But how you gonna get close enough to a shark in this thing to hook him?
I'll show you. Hey. Mako shark, he's very curious. When he hear noise in water, come see where noise come from.
Hey, wait a minute, Callie. You said they're not always hungry. What makes you think they'll take your bait?
Mako shark never turn down snack on baby octopus.
He's coming right toward us.
He's got the bait! Look out! Look out! He's crossing our bow!
Why had him trying to do that?
The same reason I got you out here. If the shark got that girl, we gotta prove it.
So that's the end of the mystery.
Maybe.
Poor dame.
Compensation. The old law works every time. I know, I shouldn't talk like that. But I was never any good at hiding my feelings. I'm glad she's dead. He's better off without her. Oh, he doesn't care anything about her money. At least now he can carry on with his work without the humiliation of being left flat.
She was loyal. She never would have left him.
Of course she would. She'd stick with one man? Never. It could have happened any time.
Look, shove off.
Sure. Sure, I'll shove off. The natives have that shark hanging on the end of the dock. Looks like they're going to be having a feast. Between you and me, Troy, I feel like joining them.
It's not a feast, Groper. It's an autopsy.
Tiny?
You're sure?
Yes, I was there.
And what's all the mystery?
Stand over there by the stairs. I don't want anybody to barge in on me. I want the police.
Police? What?
Inspector Bouchard, please. Inspector Adam Troy, I wanted to keep you advised. Madame Lagrange has not returned and no one here has heard from her. Yes, I'll let you know. All right.
Have you gone crazy? Why didn't you tell him about the shark?
Because, Penrose, that shark had eaten nothing but fish in the past 24 hours. So what did happen to Carol?
Troy, what is it?
Sorry, wrong room.
Oh, something's the matter?
I'm looking for Lagrange.
Oh, he's in the next room down there.
Who is it? Yes, Captain Troy.
You weren't outside just now?
Has something happened?
I'm afraid so.
What?
I don't know yet.
Is it something to do with my wife?
I don't know that either. I can't speculate just now. I'm sorry to have troubled you. We'll talk later.
Of course. Do you wish me to come with you?
No. Far side of those rocks there. There'll be nothing on the shore.
Man, I was having such a great dream, too. What's this all about, Skipper?
We'll wait for dawn.
All set, Skipper? What happened? I thought I saw... Adam, what?
Hold him aboard.
What happened to him?
He cut his own air tube. Embolism.
Glad, really. I didn't hate you. I only hated her and Andre and all the others. Then you, I did it for his sake. She had no heart. She was hard, cool, and better dead. Joy, don't tell him. LaGrange, he's alone now, and he's free at last.
Let's take him back to the village. He probably killed her just after she swam back from calling on me that night. Hid her body in the jungle. Yesterday, when we heard about the shark, he hoped no more questions would be asked. Last night, he decided to put her in the lagoon, so he took a boat and rowed out, and... well, you know the rest.
But why? Why?
He worshipped you, Monsieur Lagrange, and he hated her. He was terrified of the idea that she might leave you and ruin your life and work. Preyed on his mind.
She would never have left me.
Groper didn't believe that. He didn't understand you or your wife. She was a very loyal person.
You say that with great sincerity, Captain Troy.
I mean it. I don't care what Groper thought.
About Andre and all the others?
You knew?
Of course. Do I look such a fool? But why did he have to do it? Why didn't he talk to me? Did he imagine that I did not know her? Why, I knew her every little thought and desire. I knew who her lovers would be even before she did. You look shocked. Maybe you did send her away that night.
I didn't send her away. She went by herself.
Of course, you are young. You have your ideals. Stick to them. Perhaps you will be lucky. Some people are. Others, like myself, have to learn the art of compromise. Why do you look like that?
Strange, isn't it, Monsieur Lagrange? It's exactly what she said to me about you.
Adventures in Paradise.